bonus content. So the topic of today's short talk is that it's not the players or the coach's responsibility to entertain you. Instead, it is the league's responsibility to entertain you. So, time is up. So, the reason I talk about this is that across football, particularly Premier League, and the NBA, there is a growing gripe with how the game is played. In football, it's heavy set pieces, there's a lack of artistry, there's a lack of individual talent relative to how it used to be. And in the NBA, it's the fact that everyone is just shooting insane amounts of threes to the point where you feel like you're just watching a three-point contest and everyone plays the same way. So my response to that is, are they particularly good products at the minute? No. But that's not the team's responsibility. The team's responsibility is to win games. It's to win games, and that's it. It's to win games and win trophies. Its responsibility is not to entertain us as viewers. It is instead their job to win. The owners own the teams because they're profitable assets. They can help, and their job is what they do is make the team win because they believe that will increase the profitability of their asset. The coach in basketball, the GM, the manager in football, the head coach in basketball, in football, whatever, all the players, their responsibility is to win and make as much money as possible. And the best way for them to do that is to keep winning, because that's ultimately how things are set up at the minute. It is the league's responsibility to make it so that the product is entertaining for the consumer, so the consumer keeps wanting to buy the product, pay the subscription fee, pay the TV fee, buy the tickets, pay for the season tickets, whatever it is. It is the league's responsibility to set things up in a way, whether that's rule changes, whether that is rule changes in terms of how the game is played, rule changes in terms of the infrastructure of the league. For example, in NBA, there's discussions over tanking at the minute. In football, there's discussion over, not necessarily rule changes yet, but there's discussion on how we can make the game more entertaining. For example, Arne Slot mentioned yesterday that the game is quite dull sometimes. So the fact that the winning formula and the entertainment formula, the fact is, you're very rarely going to get the two overlap. You're very rarely going to get 2011 Barca, where they do play insanely entertaining football. And in reality, a lot of that was just because they had Lionel Messi dribbling around and doing insane things. A lot of the time, you can either win or you can have fun. It's very hard to do both at the same time. Like even Liverpool and the Klopp, when they were seen as this swashbuckling unit, they were getting 99 points, but a lot of the time they weren't necessarily fun to watch. They were structurally sound. Basketball is the same. The best team, for example, if we take the San Antonio Spurs under Popovich and Duncan, they weren't necessarily the most fun to watch, but they won 5 titles because of the fact that they were insanely efficient and boring in a way, and they were elite defensively, and they were a fantastic structural unit. Winning and having fun don't necessarily go together, and it's the league's responsibility to make it so, and we're out of time almost. Well, we are out of time. And it's the league's responsibility to make it so that those two objectives are as closely aligned as possible. Like I said, whether that's through rule changes, off-season changes, infrastructure changes, whatever it is that the league needs to do to make that thing a reality, they need to do. Otherwise, people are going to keep complaining and keep bad-mouthing the product which they have on, which is only negative for the thing going down the road. Right? There is no sports league that is immune from constant criticism, and eventually people will stop paying if they stop enjoying the product, and eventually the money will go down, and eventually the league just dies. Will that happen with football? Probably not. The NBA is probably a bigger victim to this than the Premier League is, but irrespective, it applies both ways. Entertainment has to matter to a certain degree, and if it doesn't, then people will take their money and they will spend it elsewhere on something which does entertain them. So leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And like, comment, subscribe as normal, and I will talk to you again soon in the next one. Bye-bye.